Welcome back to the fourth section of our course, focusing on technical and physical safeguards. In this lesson, you will learn exactly how to build the tangible barriers that keep electronic health information safe from unauthorized access. This topic is incredibly important because it bridges the gap between written policies and the actual, real-world defenses you will use every day. Get ready to explore everything from complex data encryption to something as simple as locking a server room door. Mastering these concepts is essential for passing the certification exam and for truly protecting patient data in any modern healthcare environment. Let us jump in and make these technical concepts easy to understand, and to help you gauge your progress as we go, I highly recommend obtaining the practice tests or our offline app to apply what you learn here. The HIPAA security rule is divided into three main types of safeguards, which are administrative, physical, and technical. While we have already discussed administrative policies, we are now moving into the physical and technical controls that put those policies into action. Physical safeguards deal with the actual buildings and hardware, while technical safeguards deal with the software and computer networks. For the exam, you must be able to categorize different security measures correctly, knowing instantly whether a fingerprint scanner is a physical control or if an encrypted hard drive is a technical control. Let us begin with physical safeguards, specifically focusing on facility access controls. These are the measures an organization takes to limit physical access to its buildings, offices, and server rooms, ensuring that only authorized personnel can enter. This includes using ID badge readers at entrances, employing security guards, or utilizing biometric scanners like fingerprint readers. Exam questions will frequently test your understanding that physical access must be restricted based on an employee's role, meaning a standard nurse should not have physical badge access to the hospital's main IT server room. Workstation security is another massive component of physical safeguards that you will see on the test. A workstation can be a desktop computer at a nurse's station, a laptop on a crash cart, or even a tablet used by a doctor in a patient room. Healthcare organizations must implement physical barriers to prevent unauthorized viewing of these screens, such as installing privacy filters that make the monitor look black from the side. On the exam, always look for answers that position workstations away from public walkways or angle monitors away from waiting room windows to prevent visual snooping. Next, you must understand the rules surrounding device and media controls. This standard governs how physical hardware containing electronic protected health information is handled when it is moved, repaired, or ultimately retired. Hardware includes everything from massive server hard drives to small USB flash drives and backup tapes. The exam will heavily test your knowledge of disposal procedures, requiring that any device containing sensitive data must be physically destroyed, such as being shredded or magnetically wiped, before it is thrown away or recycled. Shifting to the digital side, technical safeguards begin with electronic access controls. These are the software-based rules that ensure users can only log into systems they are authorized to use. The most fundamental access control is assigning a unique user identification name or number to every single employee, sharing generic login credentials, like having all nurses use a single generic username. is a massive HIPAA violation because it destroys accountability. Exam questions will confirm that you know every action must be tied to one specific, uniquely identifiable human being. And running through scenario-based questions in the offline app or our practice tests is a fantastic way to verify you have mastered this concept. Once a user has a unique ID, the system must verify that they are who they claim to be, which is a process known as authentication. The most common form of authentication is a strong password. But modern healthcare security increasingly relies on multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication requires the user to provide 2 or more pieces of evidence, such as a password they know combined with a temporary code sent to a smartphone they possess. For the exam, remember that requiring multi-factor authentication is the strongest technical defense against compromised passwords and unauthorized system access. A highly testable concept within electronic access controls is role-based access control, commonly abbreviated as RBAC. This means that a user's permissions within the electronic health record system are strictly defined by their specific job title or role. A billing specialist's role will allow him to see financial ledgers, but block them from reading psychiatric therapy notes, while a physician's role will grant full clinical access. When answering exam scenarios about limiting user access to the minimum necessary information, role-based access control is almost always the correct technical solution. An incredibly simple but mandatory technical safeguard you need to know is the automatic log-off feature. This is a software setting that automatically terminates an electronic session after a predetermined period of inactivity. If a doctor logs into a computer in a busy hallway, gets distracted by an emergency, and walks away, the system must automatically lock the screen or log him out after a few minutes. The CHPS exam will test your understanding that automatic log-off is a required technical control designed to prevent unauthorized people from jumping onto an unattended computer. Audit controls are the hidden cameras of the software world, and are heavily tested on the certification exam. These are the hardware and software mechanisms that record and examine activity within information systems that contain protected health information. Every time a user logs in, opens a patient file, prints a document, or changes a diagnosis, the audit log records who did it, what they did, and exactly when they did it. You must understand that robust audit logs are the primary technical tool used by privacy officers to investigate suspected snooping or data breaches. Protecting data integrity is another crucial technical safeguard. Integrity means ensuring that electronic health information has not been altered or destroyed in an unauthorized manner, either accidentally or maliciously. This is critical for patient safety, because if a hacker secretly changes a patient's blood type or medication dosage in the system, the results could be fatal. Exam questions will test your knowledge of technical mechanisms, like electronic checksums and digital signatures, which are used to verify that data has remained perfectly intact and unaltered. Healthcare organizations constantly send data over networks, making transmission security a major focus on the exam. Transmission security measures guard against unauthorized access to data while it is being transmitted over an electronic communications network, such as the internet or a hospital's internal Wi-Fi. If a clinic needs to email patient records to a specialist across town, they cannot just use standard Unencrypted email. The exam will expect you to know that sensitive data moving across open networks must be protected from interception by outside attackers. The absolute best way to achieve both transmission security and general data protection is through encryption. A topic you will see multiple times on the exam. Encryption is a complex mathematical process that scrambles readable text into an unreadable format, which can only be unlocked with a specific decryption key. You must understand the difference between data at rest, which means data stored on a hard drive, and data in motion, which means data traveling over the internet. Strong security programs use encryption for both states to ensure that even if data is stolen, the hackers cannot read it. The explosion of smartphones and tablets in healthcare has created unique security challenges, bringing us to mobile device management. This is a type of security software used by an IT department to monitor, manage, and secure employees' mobile devices that are used to access the hospital network. If a doctor loses their personal smartphone that has hospital email on it, this software allows the IT department to remotely wipe all the data off that phone before a thief can access it. Exam questions frequently use lost mobile devices to test your knowledge of remote wipe capabilities and device encryption. Defending the perimeter of the hospital's computer network is essential. And this is where firewalls and intrusion detection systems come into play. A firewall is a network security device that monitors incoming and outgoing network traffic, deciding whether to allow or block specific traffic based on a defined set of security rules. Think of a firewall as the digital security guard at the front door of your network. For the exam, recognize that firewalls and intrusion detection systems are fundamental technical safeguards designed to keep external hackers from breaching your internal systems. Malicious software, commonly known as malware, is a constant threat to healthcare networks. Malware includes viruses, worms, and ransomware, which are specifically designed to disrupt, damage, or gain unauthorized access to computer systems. To combat this, organizations must deploy robust, centrally managed antivirus and anti-malware software across all workstations and servers. The exam will test your understanding that keeping antivirus definitions constantly updated is a critical technical requirement to defend against newly created cyber threats. Ransomware deserves special attention, as it is currently the most devastating threat facing the healthcare industry. Ransomware is a type of malicious software designed to block access to a computer system, usually by encrypting all the files, until a sum of money is paid. The exam will test your knowledge that a ransomware attack is generally considered a reportable HIPAA breach, because the hackers have taken unauthorized control of the protected health information. The best technical defense against ransomware is maintaining secure, offline data backups that the hackers cannot reach. A high-level concept you must grasp for the CHPS exam is how administrative, physical, and technical safeguards overlap and support each other. You can buy the most expensive technical encryption software in the world, but if your administrative policies do not train staff on how to use it, or if your physical safeguards allow a thief to walk in and steal the unlocked server, your security program fails. Exam scenarios will often require you to identify missing safeguards across all three categories to solve a complex security problem. within the HIPAA security rule. You must clearly understand the difference between required specifications and addressable specifications. Required means the organization must implement the standard exactly as written, with no exceptions. Addressable, however, does not mean optional. Addressable means the organization must evaluate the specification and either implement it as written, or implement an alternative measure that accomplishes the same security goal based on their size and risk analysis. The exam will try to trick you into thinking addressable rules can simply be ignored. So remember that they still require formal compliance and documentation. Congratulations on completing the 4th section of this exam preparation course. You have now mastered the essential physical and technical safeguards needed to protect electronic health information against real-world threats. Right now, I strongly encourage you to complete the attached practice test, or pull up our offline app, to solidify your understanding of these crucial security concepts. Practice questions are proven to improve your retention and prepare you for the tricky wording you will see on test day. These practice tests and the offline app are perfectly paired with this lesson to build your confidence. So please dive in and keep up your active learning. Maintain this excellent focus as we move smoothly into our next section covering investigation, compliance, and enforcement.